Makes sense.
So yeah, and this is your first time in Korea? Or?
First time in Korea, yeah. I've traveled a little bit in Southeast Asia. I've been to Japan, been to Singapore, but never to Korea. So
why not Korea?
Never had the invitation. I was waiting for you, Jay. Waiting for that LinkedIn message. But yeah, I'm pleased we've come.
Good, okay. So first things first, can you introduce yourself and the Baobab Network?
Of course, yeah. So my name's Tom. I'm one of the co-founders at Baobab Network. We are an early stage investor and an accelerator. We back tech companies in Africa. So we only invest in African companies. We've been going for about 8 years. We've built a portfolio of 65 companies. We are present in 16 countries with the portfolio. And yeah, we've set out this big vision to invest in 1,000 companies in the next 10 years. And we've done 65 so far, so we've got a long way to go.
Right.
Yeah.
So is there any specific reason you and your co-founder focus on the African continent?
Yeah, sure. So I actually grew up in Kenya. So I moved to Kenya in 1993, a long time ago. And my family have always had a home there. And Toby had spent some time in Southern Africa growing up as well. So we met at university, but both went into corporate jobs when we graduated, and soon realized actually we weren't very good at those jobs and we found it quite boring. So we actually wanted to do something a little bit different, and we're both entrepreneurs. And we'd seen the model that Y Combinator had built in the US, and we thought, wow, that's a really strong and interesting business model. Why don't we re-engineer that business model and build it in Africa? So we quit our jobs in 2016,
wow.
Which was to the alarm of my parents. But we have been building the business ever since, and we're about to enter our 9th year. So the thing about our business is it's a long project. Like we're talking 50 or 100-year time horizons with our vision for the business. Whereas a lot of VCs think about a 7-year and then maybe close down the fund. We're thinking multiple funds, multiple strategies, multiple decades, which we believe is the right play for the African geography.
And what was the plan B if Baobab Network doesn't work?
That was never going to happen, Jay. It was always plan A. I think we always knew there was something there to be built. So we think the opportunity is so big. I think we've already pivoted the business a few times. So we started off the business when we had no money, we were just starting. We actually were running corporate-backed accelerators. So we'd partner with big corporations, people like Accenture and others, who would actually sponsor their team members to come and consult and support startups in Africa. So we'd actually charge the corporate, and the startup would get the benefit of having those people in. We ran programs in Nairobi, in Cape Town, in Kampala, and I think in 6 different countries. So the corporate staff were getting this incredible entrepreneurial experience and innovation experience. So we could actually charge them fees, and that allowed us to bootstrap the business.
Right.
So that was iteration 1. Iteration 2, we started writing small checks, $25,000 checks. And that same year we launched a research business because we wanted to try and keep covering costs. So that was a whole nother plan B, was maybe we could sell research and interact in that way. Research, we ended up basically closing down the sales function, and we now use that all internally. And the big new iteration is we're launching a much bigger fund in 2025, which we're speaking to some LPs here in Korea about, which is going to be the next sort of 10-year play for the business.
You guys focusing on, you mentioned 16 countries you're working with. And is there all English-speaking countries or French-speaking countries?
So it's a bit of a mix. So we've actually been doing more in French-speaking Africa recently. We have 2 managing partners who speak French in the team, and that's really important to us. So we've recently done deals in Cameroon, Cote d'Ivoire. We've done deals in Togo. More recently also in Senegal, which is a French-speaking nation. Also in Morocco. So we have 3 companies in Morocco, which is an exciting market for us. So when we advertise to entrepreneurs, we say you can apply in French or English, which I think is important and a bit of a differentiator for us, because a lot of the continent do speak French, and we want to be able to kind of accept and work with founders of many different backgrounds and a very diverse pipeline. And it's really working. So in the last 4 years, we've had applications from 51 of the 54 African countries.
Wow.
So something we're very proud of is that we've built a brand for everyone. It's designed to be founder first and not particularly exclusive, whereas some VCs we find can be a little bit harder to access, I suppose.
Right. So like, since African continent is huge and it's like a large continent and there are so many countries, but can you define one thing in common, people from African continent?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. So where we get very excited when we meet entrepreneurs is two sectors that we like to look at. One is the consumer, so anything that impacts the life of a consumer, consumer purchasing power, or the food value chain, or let's think like insurance or healthcare. And the other one is the small business, so the SME. So how can we empower a small business to grow? And the common thing we see is that the consumer and the SME is really like the backbone of the economy in many countries. Whereas perhaps the government or big corporates or like the stock market is a bit weaker versus maybe say some Asian countries or some European countries. Here in Africa where we invest, it's all about the consumer and the small business, and that's where we've built our investment thesis. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so then the 1 to 10, Baobab Network has done so far, 1 to 10. What score you'd put?
What score? Wow. I mean, we're always looking to improve. So I think it's been a long journey so far. I'd probably mark us at like I don't know, 6, 5.5, 5.5.
Wow.
I think we're the reason I say that is we've done an incredible job, but we've done 65 deals out of a pipeline of more than 45,000 since we started. We'd love to do more. And I think the big next step for us is getting more LP money under our management, growing the asset base, and trying to improve our reach where we invest. So maybe 5.5 is a bit harsh on my team. They'll tell me off for that.
Okay.
Call it 6.5. But I think that's we're a humble team. We're always trying to build the business and take quite an organic approach. So I think there's a long way to go, but we've done some good stuff so far.
Okay, then let's shift to the questions for Fosterbridge. And again, for Fosterbridge, 1 to 10, what score you put?
10. Easy. No, it's been great. It's been awesome to be here. I think we're all busy, so I think what's been great about this event is people have been able to arrive, the schedule's been put on, It's been well communicated beforehand. So I think for people that work in the VC space or startup space, it's very hard to have 10 minutes to sit down and do your slides or but you guys have been accommodating and flexible, and there's some amazing people here in the room. Just meeting guys from the US, or just sat down with the guys at Simsan Ventures, who I know you know, Sahil and the team. Like, these guys are building awesome funds, and I think it's, you've collected a really good group of people here.
Then what should we do? Like, make it like 11 or 12 out of 10? 11 or
12. I guess where we're looking to learn as a VC that doesn't invest in Asia. I think one thing we're trying to learn is the story that some Asian markets have been on. So say Indonesia has been on a huge growth trajectory in the last 20 years. We're trying to learn how we can take findings and learnings and track record from other funds that have done deals there into Africa. So maybe something like an emerging markets track or something could be cool, where people that are, because you wouldn't call Korea an emerging market or Japan an emerging market or London, but somewhere like Nigeria or Indonesia or Vietnam would be. So maybe a way to build some shared learnings, because we've got lots of stories to tell, and I'm sure others do.
That's a really good point.
But hey, that's just I'm thinking hard of how you can improve, because it's been really good.
Okay, I think like the time is already, and the last question is, do you have any message for Toby or for your parents or colleagues in London or in Kenya?
Just say hi from Korea. It's nearly Christmas time and everyone's waiting for the holidays. So I mean, it's been an amazing year for us. We've done a huge amount of work. We just most of the team were in South Africa as a group earlier in November, so we had some time together there. But yeah, I think what we always say is, take some time over the holidays, relax, and then because January is going to come and it's going to be another big year ahead. So yeah, very grateful for our team. Grateful for the support we get from our families as well, to be able to go and do these big events and travel the world. So yeah, excited for what's to come.
All right, that's it for today. Thanks for your time, Tom.
Thank you, Jay. Absolute pleasure. Thank you so much. Thank you,
worries.
guys.